Most people lose not because they're weak, but because they never learned the rules. And in a world built on power, ignorance is the fastest way to stay at the bottom. Today, I'm revealing 15 more ruthless, quiet, and genius-level laws from the 48 laws of power. Laws that let you outthink, outplay, and outlast anyone. If Part 1 opened your eyes, Part 2 will change your entire mindset. Let's begin. In this world, there is one harsh rule. Anyone who fears you will never leave you alive. Mercy is a mistake that can destroy you. If you let your enemy live, you've already lost. Consider yourself dead the moment you hesitate. This is Law 16. Crush your enemy completely. There is no victory in showing mercy. No safety in sparing those who want to destroy you. Doing things halfway only gives your enemy a chance to strike back. And by the time you understand this, it's already too late. Power follows one simple rule. Either you destroy your enemy completely, or your enemy will destroy you. If you take away their strength but let them live, you only give them time to grow stronger and come for you. Mercy is a trap. Leaving your enemy alive is like signing your own death sentence. If you want to keep your power, then leave nothing of your enemy music behind. Fear is not just a feeling. It's the greatest weapon of all. People always respect what they fear. If you can make them believe you are capable of anything, they will never take you lightly. This is Law 17. Keep others in suspense. The moment people start understanding your moves, they begin to control you. Predictability is weakness. But if you remain unpredictable, if you are a force they can never fully grasp, everyone will tread carefully around you. Fear makes them cautious, and caution keeps you in power. You must build a presence so powerful that even the mere thought of crossing you feels like suicide. Remember, fear is a weapon that multiplies your strength without you having to lift a finger. When people fear you, they will hesitate to challenge you. They will second-guess their every move, crippled by doubt and dread. Your reputation should be like a shadow that stretches far beyond your actual power. The more unpredictable and dangerous you seem, the more control you gain. Fear is the most effective form of respect. It forces people to think twice, to bow down before they even consider standing against you. Understand this. Fear is a silent killer. It strikes the minds of your enemies long before you ever have to act. If people fear you, they will never dare to move against you. And if they do, their courage will already be broken. Cultivate fear like a weapon, and you will become untouchable. A lion is the most powerful creature, but if it's alone, even dogs dare to bite it. The more you isolate yourself from others, the weaker you become. True strength doesn't lie in standing alone, but in surrounding yourself with the right people. This is Law 18. Build a network of power. Isolation is a trap. It may give you a sense of control, but it leaves you vulnerable and exposed. Those who cling to their own strength alone will eventually fall, but those who draw strength from others will always rise. True power comes from alliances, from building a network that supports you. When the weight of the world grows heavy, successful people never stay isolated. They thrive within the crowd, extracting power and influence from every connection they make. They understand that true strength comes from the loyalty, fear, and admiration of others. They build alliances. They form factions, and they use those networks to execute their plans flawlessly. Power flows through people like blood through veins. If you cut yourself off from everyone, you sever your own lifeline. Alone, you are fragile, but with the right people by your side, you are unbreakable. The wise know how to surround themselves with allies who empower them. They create fear and loyalty alike. They use people as tools and shields. They plan from the shadows, but their influence reaches far and wide. If you believe you can achieve greatness alone, you are lying to yourself. Power is never a solitary pursuit. It thrives among the many, drawn from their loyalty, fear, and admiration. Remember this. The strongest empires are built by many hands, but they are ruled by a single mind. Your downfall can happen faster than you think if you mess with the wrong person. Not everyone is the same. Some people forgive and forget, but others quietly wait for the perfect moment to destroy you. This is Law 19. Know who you are dealing with. One wrong move, one careless word, and you could make an enemy who will stop at nothing to see you fall. The world is filled with two kinds of people: those who swallow their pride and move on, and those who wait for years, planning their revenge in the dark. You won't even realize it until it's too late. Your greatest enemy could be the one standing closest to you, hiding their hatred behind a friendly smile. That's why you must always be aware of who you're dealing with. Know their strengths, their weaknesses, and most importantly, their nature. Carelessness is death. Underestimating the wrong person can turn your life into a nightmare. People are willing to wait as long as it takes to strike back, and when they do, it will be with everything they have. Never assume everyone will play by the same rules. Never assume kindness where only hatred grows. Words you speak without thought can create enemies for life. Always watch your back. Understand the people around you. Learn who you can manipulate, who you can trust, and who you must avoid at all costs. Because the most dangerous enemies are the ones who remain patient, silently preparing for your destruction. If you ignore this law, you will eventually cross someone who will dedicate their existence to tearing you down. Never be careless with your words or actions. Study everyone you encounter and never assume anyone is harmless. The moment you tie yourself to one person, you've already dug your own grave. People crave loyalty. They demand. But the truth is, the second you lock yourself to one person's desires, you become nothing more than their puppet. This is Law 20. Never chain yourself to anyone. Loyalty is only respected until it becomes a trap. Once you give away your freedom, you've surrendered your power. And if you make the mistake of binding yourself to someone's will, they will use you, control you, and discard you when you no longer serve their purpose. Loyalty is a double-edged sword. While others expect it from you, they will rarely return it. They want you to be loyal because it gives them control over you. And once you've given that control away, reclaiming it is nearly impossible. They will call it loyalty, but it's really just a chain around your neck, a leash they can pull whenever they desire. True power comes from remaining free, from keeping everyone guessing where your true allegiance lies. Never let anyone claim you Never allow yourself to be owned. Loyalty is only powerful when it's given by choice, not when it's forced or expected. When you become a slave to loyalty, you lose your freedom, your strength, and your control. Remember this: if you give your loyalty blindly, you are digging your own grave. And once you're buried under their control, no one will save you. True power belongs to those who keep their freedom intact. Never hand over your will to anyone, because once you do, you will never be the same again. Stop this video right here if you think you're the smartest person in the room. But if you've ever been underestimated, this video could become your greatest weapon. Everyone wants to appear powerful and intelligent. But here's the secret: if you always try to look smart, people will plot against you. They will see you as a threat. They will scheme and manipulate to tear you down. But if you can make them believe you're harmless, if you can convince them you're nothing but a fool, then you can turn their own schemes against them. This is the truth. There are two kinds of people in this world: those who constantly show off their intelligence, desperate to prove they know everything, and those who let others believe they're smarter, feeding their arrogance, making them feel secure and in control. If you reveal your true power, people will fear you. They will guard their secrets, hide their intentions, and strike against you when you least expect it. But if you play the fool, if you act like you know nothing, they will reveal everything. They will drop their guard. They will underestimate you. And once they do, you will have the upper hand. You will see their plans before they even take shape. You will know their weaknesses, their intentions, their desires, all because they thought you were too stupid to understand. Remember, appearing powerful can be a strength, but appearing weak can be an even greater weapon. Those who are underestimated have the greatest advantage. So tell me, what will you choose? To flaunt your strength and be feared, or to hide your power, play the fool, and control the game from the shadows? Before we move forward, I'm handing you something lethal, not motivation, not inspiration. This is a weapon of ruthless intelligence. It's called the Whisperer's Secret, and it will dismantle everything you thought you knew about the mind. You will train for psychological immunity. Emotional attacks will bounce off you like static. You will master neuroentialism, stripping away human noise until only precision remains. You will learn mental manipulation, not persuasion, not influence, control, surgical, invisible, absolute. You'll transcend your cognition, rewrite your own reality, and walk the path of the mental overlord, where logic is law and dominance is non-negotiable. This is more than knowledge. It's a system. Strategic exercises to erase weakness, frameworks to manipulate environments and minds, lifetime upgrades to ensure your evolution never stops. Let me be clear. This isn't for the kind. It's for the calculated, the ones who see emotion as a liability and control as currency. If you're ready to become the type of mind that bends others without them noticing, if you're prepared to abandon comfort, morality, and limitation, then take the Whisper Secret, not for inspiration but for conquest. The link is in the comment. Download the ebook, the audiobook, or both. Begin your transformation now. If you think giving up is a sign of weakness, then you will never truly win in life. The biggest mistake you can Make is trying to win every battle. Sometimes the smartest move is to lose. On purpose. Here's the truth. If you can make your opponent believe they've defeated you, you gain control over. This is the lesson. People mistake surrender for weakness, but in reality, it can be the ultimate power. This is Law 22, the art of strategic surrender. If you appear weak, bow down and let them taste victory. Their guard will drop. They will relax, become careless, and expose their true intentions. And the moment they do, that's when you strike. That's when you tear them down completely. People always assume that the one who loses is weak. But real strength lies in knowing when to bend, when to bow, and when to strike back. Surrender can be the sharpest weapon in your arsenal. It allows you to study your enemy, to understand their tactics, to prepare your own plan while they celebrate a false victory. When the situation turns against you, don't be afraid to surrender. Use it to your advantage. By appearing defeated, you can lure your enemies into traps they never see coming. You can gain their trust only to use it against them when the time is right. Victory doesn't always come from fighting harder. Sometimes it comes from fighting smarter. Giving up control temporarily is not true defeat. It's a strategy, and those who master it hold a power greater than any brute force. Think about it. When was the last time you gained something valuable by surrendering? The greatest victories are often built on the illusion of defeat. Play the game wisely, and even your losses will bring you closer to ultimate power. Your biggest enemy is your own wasted energy. Chasing success blindly only leads to exhaustion and disappointment. This is Law 23. Focus your power. If you keep running after every opportunity, spreading yourself thin, you will end up with nothing but frustration. True success is not about trying to win every battle. It's about choosing the right battles and giving them everything you have. Scattered energy is like a dull blade. No matter how hard you try, it will never cut deep. To achieve true power, you must concentrate your efforts. Focus on one goal, one mission, and pour all your energy into it. People fail because they chase too many things at once. They waste their energy trying to achieve everything but end up achieving nothing. The more you divide your focus, the weaker you become. Understand this. The most powerful people in the world are not the ones who try to do everything. They are the ones who choose their targets carefully and attack them with ruthless precision. If you continue to spread yourself thin, you will always remain weak. But if you gather your energy, sharpen your focus, and aim it at a single point, you will become unstoppable. Your greatest enemy is not the world around you. It's your own lack of focus. To achieve true power, you must cut away all distractions and direct your energy toward what truly matters. Remember, the key to success is not in doing everything, but in doing one thing with absolute mastery. If you think talent alone brings success, you are still living in a dream. In this world, becoming powerful is not about pure skill. It's about manipulation, flattery, and mastering the egos of others. This is Law 24. Perfect courtier. Those who rely only on their abilities always end up left behind. Why? Because skill alone is never enough. The real power lies in understanding people's egos, playing to their desires and making them feel important. Before you try to be a master, first learn to master others' egos and moods. Praise them, study their games, and feed their pride. Only then will you achieve true power. In this world, managing people's egos is far more important than just displaying your own talent. You must understand this. Pure talent is like a blade without a handle, sharp but difficult to control. But when you master the art of handling others' egos, you gain leverage, influence, and control. If you refuse to play the game, if you cling only to your raw ability, then no matter how talented you are, you will always remain nothing more than a pawn, because talent without influence is powerless. The most powerful people in this world are not always the most talented. They are the ones who understand how to stroke egos, how to manipulate pride, and how to make others feel valued while secretly pulling all the strings. So the next time you chase success, remember this. World does not reward skill alone. Rewards those who know how to manipulate the pride and vanity of others. That is the true path to power. If you think you truly know yourself, then you are still living a lie. You are not who you think you are. You are who the world has shaped you to be. Your identity, your thoughts, everything you believe about yourself is a product of other people's minds. If you haven't created your own identity, then you are always under someone else's control. This is Law 25. Recreate yourself. If you let the world define who you are, you will always be a puppet, dancing to someone else's strings. You must take control of your identity. Rebuild yourself into someone powerful, someone who answers to no one. In this world, true winners are those who constantly reinvent themselves, who change and adapt without fear. If you refuse to change, others will use you like a tool. They will mold you into whatever suits their needs, and you will remain nothing but a puppet. Your true identity is not what you have chosen. It's what society has forced upon you. Until you take control of who you are, you will always be a weaker version of yourself. Understand this. Your identity is your greatest weapon, but only if it is one you have forged yourself. If you haven't rebuilt yourself, then the world will break you and turn you into something unrecognizable. Recreating yourself is the ultimate power. It means breaking free from the roles, labels, and limits the world has placed upon you. It means becoming whatever you desire to be, not what others expect you to be. If you fail to build your own identity, the world will keep tearing you apart, reshaping you into something weaker and more obedient. Your power lies in your ability to transform, to burn away your old self and rise stronger, more ruthless, more unstoppable. So ask yourself, are you who you want to be or who the world has made you? Until you decide to recreate yourself, you will never hold true power. If you think appearing innocent will keep you safe, then you still haven't understood the game. The greatest rulers in history didn't always win by fighting. They won by making others do the dirty work for them. This is Law 26. Keep your hands clean. There was once a king who won every war, but the truth is, he never raised a sword himself. His enemies fell one by one, yet he always remained untouched, his name clean and unblemished. His true power didn't come from his army, came from his cunning. He controlled others from the shadows, always keeping his own hands spotless. The secret to his power was simple. He let others do the dirty work. He manipulated their greed, their anger, their ambitions. When things went wrong, he was never blamed. When victories were achieved, he stood in the light, pure and innocent. This is the ultimate art of manipulation, letting others do the deeds while you reap the rewards. Always appear clean, always seem innocent, while behind the scenes you control everything. When you appear innocent, people trust you. They let their guard down. They believe you are harmless, and that's when you strike. Ruthless mind hidden behind a pure face is the deadliest weapon of all. Ever wondered why the most powerful players in the world always seem innocent? Because the ones who act openly and aggressively always attract attention, always draw enemies. But those who play from the shadows, letting others take the fall, always end up on top. To master this law, you must learn to let others take the blame when things go wrong. Let them believe you are pure, while you pull the strings from the darkness. Innocence is your disguise. Cunning is your weapon. The world rewards those who can manipulate without being detected. Stay clean. Let others do the dirty work and watch as the world believes in your innocence even as you control everything. If you think people will follow you just because you exist, then you still haven't understood the real rule of power. The most powerful leaders in history didn't just demand loyalty, they created it. This is Law 27. Play on people's needs to create dependence. There was once a man who held thousands under his control. People obeyed his every word with blind faith, worshipping him as if he was a god. But his power didn't come from truth. It came from giving people what they craved the most: hope. People don't want the truth. They want something to believe in. They want a leader who promises them safety, power, and purpose. They don't care if it's real or an illusion as long as it gives them comfort. Understand this. The greatest leaders didn't just show people the way. They made the people feel that only they held the answers. They made themselves irreplaceable. When people were lost, they gave them hope. When they were weak, they gave them strength. When they were broken, they gave them purpose. But the real power lies in making them believe they cannot survive without you. If you want absolute control, make them dependent on you. Become their only source of hope, of guidance, of power. When people come to rely on you completely, their loyalty is yours forever. They will follow your every command, believe your every word, and defend you against anyone who dares to question your power. Think about it. Why did the greatest kings, rulers, and leaders throughout history have so much control? It wasn't just because of their strength or wisdom. It was because they made the people believe that only they could deliver what they desired. They created a dependence so strong that the people couldn't imagine life without. So the next time you seek power, don't just lead. Make them need you. Feed their hopes, fuel their desires, and ensure that you are the only one who can fulfill them. Only then will you have true power. A king had an empire of thousands, but a single fear defeated him. It wasn't the fear itself that destroyed him. It was his hesitation. If you are afraid to take action, understand this. You are already dead. This is Law 28. Enter action with boldness. There was once a young warrior who had an entire empire prepared to crush him. But he did something most wouldn't dare. He acted with fearless boldness. Before his enemies could even strike, his sheer audacity threw them into chaos. The power of boldness is undeniable. It defeats fear before the battle even begins. Boldness is a weapon more powerful than any army. When you act with courage and confidence, your enemies become confused. They hesitate. They doubt. And in that moment of hesitation, you win. Boldness brings clarity. It destroys fear and places you in control. But remember this: no great leader has ever risen to power by playing it safe. Playing small is a guaranteed path to failure. Boldness is not recklessness. It is calculated courage. It is the ability to strike with strength while everyone else remains paralyzed by doubt. If you approach life timidly, fear will devour you. But if you charge forward with relentless boldness, nothing will stand in your way. The greatest mistake people make is allowing fear to hold them back. The difference between success and failure is often just one decisive move, made with absolute confidence. Fear is nothing but a barrier in your mind. Boldness shatters that barrier and forces the world to submit to your will. Your enemies will struggle to keep up, because they will be too overwhelmed by your daring moves. Boldness is not just a trait. It is your greatest weapon. Either you push forward without fear or fear will consume you. The choice is yours. Will you act boldly or will you let fear keep you forever chained? If you think you're winning, you're still trapped in an illusion. Most people fail because they only plan the beginning but never think about the end. This is Law 29. Plan all the way to the end. Napoleon was a master of strategy. His battles almost always turned into victories. But in 1812 he made a fatal mistake. He invaded Russia. His initial plan was perfect. He pushed the Russian army back, marching all the way to Moscow. But here's where he failed. He never planned for the end. The Russians burned Moscow to the ground, leaving him with nothing. No food, no shelter, and the brutal winter came crashing down upon his unprepared army. Napoleon's brilliant start became a disastrous end. The lesson: if you don't plan for the end, you are only preparing for failure. Most people become obsessed with their initial success, but winners are those who foresee the final outcome from the very beginning. Every move you make has a consequence. If you haven't planned for the end, your enemies will, and when they do, they will destroy you. Those who fail are the ones who only see the immediate reward, not the inevitable consequence. But true power comes from thinking beyond the first step, from seeing the final outcome before it even begins. Understand this. If you haven't thought about the end, then you're leaving your fate in the hands of your enemies. A wise man doesn't just act. He calculates every possible outcome. He plans for victory from the very beginning, and he leaves nothing to chance. So ask yourself, are you planning all the way to the end, or are you setting yourself up for failure by only focusing on the beginning? If you want to conquer, you must always have the end in mind. Avoid showing off your efforts. If you think true power lies in displaying your strength, then you are gravely mistaken. This is Law 30. Make your accomplishments seem effortless. There was once a famous athlete named Michael Jordan who scored a winning shot in the last seconds of a game. The crowd was stunned. His move was perfect, his confidence unshakable. It looked as if everything happened naturally, like magic. But the truth was far different. Behind that effortless performance were countless hours of grueling practice, endless failures, and relentless improvement. If you show your struggle, people will only see your weakness. The world admires results, not the process. Success achieved through blood, sweat, and tears should appear as if it was done without effort. Mastery lies in concealing the hard work. When people believe your success comes easily, they will be in awe. They will fear your skill, thinking you possess a natural talent they can never match. True power is making your victories seem effortless. Make your results look so smooth, so flawless that people cannot even imagine the effort behind them. The world asks, "How did you do it?" But they don't really want the answer. They want to believe in something beyond their reach. So give them the illusion. Let them believe that your success is effortless, even when you've bled for. Let your victories shine, but hide the struggle beneath the surface. Because when you appear effortlessly powerful, your enemies will never understand your true strength. That's it for today's dive into power. But listen closely. If you haven't watched part 1, you're already missing the foundation. These laws aren't random tricks. They're a system. And missing even one, that's how people get played, without ever knowing it. Part 3 is coming, but power favors the prepared. So, while you wait, do something most people never will. Download the Whisper Secret ebook. Inside are principles too dangerous to speak out loud. Mental weapons that make you sharper, colder, and more impossible to manipulate. They won't teach you this in books. They can't say this out loud in schools. But once you see it, you'll never see people the same way again. Watch part 1, get the ebook, and prepare for part 3.